Blessed day, Earth family, soul family. Welcome back. It's Tuesday. We are here in the Martial Mystic daily series for 2026. I'm Javi and happy to be sharing this information with you. Ancient technology. They say that technology is rapidly advancing. My contention is that ancient technology already exists within us. And how can they improve our physical health and our mental health? In the study of mental health these days, we can see that Taiji and Qigong present a bottom-up approach in terms of the area where you start to regulate, in this case, the body to regulate itself and improve the mind, cognition, mood, state, wellness, and resilience. Let's get into Tai Chi Tuesday. We'll be talking about range of motion. So, yesterday in Mental Health Monday, we talked about the comfort zone, growth zone, and panic zone. Go back and review that. What we know, just to touch on it briefly, is that, well, we all want to stay and remain in our comfort zones because that's where we feel safe. But life pulls us out of our comfort zone. Life throws many uh, curveballs, if you will, at us. And the question is what can we do ourselves? How can we improve our ability to respond, responsibility, our adaptability, and our resilience? And Taiji training is all about improving slowly over time your ability to handle change, transition, flux, and the unknown. The unknown is something that we get accustomed to in Tai Chi Chuan, as we know that we are in a yin, we are in a yang dimension, and we come from this profound yin state that is Wuji. Wuji, Tai Chi, and yin yang. I go through this in my course, yinyangtaichi.org, where I talk about the growth cycle and the death cycle of how Wu Ji is the source of everything. Tai Chi is the template of nature's creative energy and power. And Yin Yang is that balance, harmonious state that we all seek. We are trying to maintain internal personal balance, and we get what we call the yin yang lens. And what this series is about is using this lens to help improve our mental and our physical state of mind and being. What we desire is when we are in this earth realm, in our earth suits, the memory of that place and that space of divinity, of profound peace. And that's where we draw from our resilience because it is the deep well of our power, deep well of healing, deep well of intelligence and inspiration. This red circle gives us that memory, tells us that Wu Ji is always present. Anytime yin and yang are trying to find balance and harmony. So, going back to the bottom up approach and Tai Chi's opportunity, we have to look at our regulation process. Our goal is improve upon our range of motion, our range of motion. As mentioned, this goes back to what we talked about yesterday. Your range of motion is connected to your comfort, learning, and in this case, danger zone. Okay? Today, we're going to be looking at the internal ball and external ball, and we'll be looking at movements. So notice how from your center, that's your center line, your home, your everlasting connection to Wuji, your internal Dantian, right? Remember, we have three main energy centers, the lower Dantian, middle Dantian, and upper Dantian. When it comes to regulating the body and this bottom-up approach to wellness and resilience of mind, we look at how we regulate the body from what we call the internal ball moving the external ball. And the external ball is our physical movements, our range of motions. And Yin Yang Tai Chi and many other Tai Chi movements and Qigong movements draw upon this ancient knowledge. So let's take a look at today's Tai Chi movement. It's called An. An we learn as settling of the wrist. It's one of the prime uh, examples of Tai Chi and main postures that other movements are founded upon. If you're not used to Tai Chi movement, you'll be looking at my body and be saying, why is he moving like that? Notice how my hips, my waist, and my spine move before my arms and hands move. Right there, you just saw it. Let's see it again. Hips, waist, shoulders, then arms. See it again. Hips, waist, shoulders, and arms. We'll see it again a little bit from the side now. Hips, waist, shoulders, and arms. Now, why is this important? This gives us the basis for resilience. This gives us the basis for weight training, building upon. Thought I had it. Let's go here to this movement first. Now, going back to internal ball, moving the external ball. Excuse me. This is from my Tai Chi Ball 100 days course. This is the second day. If you look at me here, notice the range that I'm expressing. I'm trying to teach them about planting their weight on their front foot. And notice how my arms extend. And if you've ever done any physical movement, you know that if you're holding a lot of weight in your hands, you know that it's hard to hold it straight out in front of you because it puts stress on the lower back and the shoulders. When we learn and acclimate our bodies to this movement, we develop strength in our core, our back, shoulders, and then the arms. And that's how we desire to train the body to move in this way so that when we gather and go to movement that requires us to carry weight and hold weight, we need to have that foundation. We need to have that. It's called regulating of no regulating. Because if you if you put that weight into If you put that weight on your body and ask your body to move with that weight, then you're going to go into what, remember, the panic zone, way out of your comfort zone. And in the panic zone, that's when you start to have regrets. We talked about yesterday, if you're outside of your comfort zone and if you're in your panic zone, you might do things or say things that you regret. I'll tell you what, I've done many weight-bearing um, activities and exercises that I have to recover from. So now we go back to yesterday's topic, your awareness of your zone. So if we refer back to our February quote in the calendar, don't be afraid of the initiation of a thought. Be afraid of the delayed perception and awareness of your thought. Afraid of the awareness of the thought. If you grab a weight and you start to push back, push past your um, range of motion that you're used to, you will then be regretful of the delayed awareness of that movement. So here you'll see quickly the focus that's required when you're pushing past your range of motion. You can see here, I'm about to push this brick out away from my center, having to be cautious of how, see, I don't even fully extend, not even fully extend because of that weight. So I have to be conscious and aware of the zone that I'm in. If I'm in my comfort, growth, or learning or panic zone. In Resolution Thursday, we talk about the function of weight. We talk about the holding of load and of pressure that helps us to build the resilience of our mind and our body. Finally, the important thing here is the repetition of body structure and conscious movement. The repetition of body structure and conscious movement. Understanding that the internal ball moves the external ball, maintaining that awareness and the fundamental concepts. One more image that I want to show you here is right there. So understanding with each movement, you produce a sine wave. Each ripple, each undulation produces that continued movement and flow where your range of motion naturally progresses. In Qigong, you hear me talk about creating the conditions. You want to create the conditions so that your range of motion naturally progresses. Yesterday, we talked about expanding your comfort zone. And the only way that you can expand your comfort zone is to go out of your fear zone, your warm-up zone, into your learning zone and stay in your growth zone. And that is the opportunity of Taiji Chuan, Taiji training, and especially with resistance. So I hope that speaks to you. Let me know what you think. The opportunity that Tai Chi and Tai Chi movement, Tai Chi training, this ancient technology, and these fundamental principles that allow us to embody philosophy and teach us how to move through life. If you want to learn more, go to yinyangtaichi.org. This short series and course on yinyangtaichi.org will give you another example of expanding your range of motion. Stay tuned. We'll be talking more about how these modalities improve wellness. Well, tomorrow is Wellness Wednesday, so we'll be talking more about that. Stay tuned. We just talked about range of motion and how that's connected to your growth, learning, comfort, panic zones, but how to be conscious and how to be aware so that you can modulate and you can communicate. We'll talk about that on Thursday. And that does it today for the for Tai Chi Tuesday with this daily series in the Martial Mystic calendar series. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment, direct message me. I'm getting some great responses, and I really appreciate everyone's feedback. Remember, embrace the woo, and may your chi flow smoothly.